And this is where I'm hearing good news from the guys too, is that there's hope, because I believe that if we had, 10 million Phillips on the street, there would be radical changes in so many different kinds of ways. I mean, there would be incredible changes. So the content tonight, I hope that it will do what it does to me. It does bring me to my knees in a lot of ways. Let me just give you a quick story. This has been going on for quite some time, as far as one of this, people that we engage, this underground stuff that we engage. So I'm sitting with a father not too long ago. We drive in to meet in a particular place, and a grandfather, to talk about the daughter that had been abducted and been drugged and had been raped and had been filmed and had been used over and over again. All that she had to go through. Now, in discussing this and listening to this father, I see the distress. He's got 4 daughters. He wants them to be protected. There was death threats because they wanted to go to law enforcement. They wanted to tell. They actually moved out of the town because of the threats that if they went any further to tell what occurred to the young girl, that they would face repercussions of, the people, the undergrounders, pedo rings, whatever you want to call them. They're very serious when you go after them and you want to bring exposure. Just check out Roy Gaikar, the Attorney General, the deputy there in Pennsylvania, has been missing for well over 10, 12 years when he wanted to turn state's evidence. But here's one of the stories, just one of many of the stories. So I'm listening to the father tell me the stories, and he's telling me another story about, them drugging and doing things and using kids, young kids to drug the other ones, and then they're bound and tied up, and they're taken to places, and then they're bound and taken, and they're told to comply to this sexual underground and being raped and being used because they're being filmed, and the people are going to make money on the film. So an Amish man brings in a naked Amish girl, 8 years old, holds her up by her neck and chokes her out until she's completely fainted or dead, and tells all the rest of the tied up, sexually abused young teenagers that if they don't comply, this is going to be them. So the father tells me in detail the story and gives me the names and gives us, the connections that we need. And this is what wakes me up in the middle of the night. This is what has driven me a little bit, over the last month or so, because we drove into that city. I went in by myself to just kind of scout it out a little bit and pray over the city area. Then we take some team members in to visit churches, because the people that did this go to the churches by design. And so by God's providence, the neat thing was that we did kind of engage the actual underground people that have done this. They took off as soon as they could. But 2 things that it did to me over the last few weeks, and maybe you can pray for me about this, because this has happened again and again and again when it comes to those who have done these kind of crimes. I'm thinking in the last number of weeks when I get up in the middle of the night and all I can get is this picture of this angry pedophile man holding up an 8-year-old naked girl, using her to choke out, to make all the other 13-year-olds comply so they can do all the videotaping and bring all these men in. They're going to pay money to have sex with them all, and then they're going to sell or put the video on the dark web. So here's 2 things I've prayed night after night after night as I woke up, went downstairs in the darkness of night to pray. I pray, number 1, that I can find little 8-year-old, little tiny Amish girl somewhere, someplace. We know the town area. I just want to find her, and I want to get her out of there. I want her to see her rescued, and I want to find the man that held her up. I want to find the man that held her up, because we must understand how this outrages us. If we don't understand outrage, we don't understand Jesus clearing out the temple. We don't understand, the wrath of God coming in Revelation 19. If we don't understand outrage, this is what allows us to sit back as they put the needle into the child inside the womb, and they inject the poison. And then after they kill the child, then they cut it up, and then they have to scrape out the arms and the legs and everything else, and then they're going to put it into the bucket, and then they're going to go dump it or sell it to the makeup people, and they're going to do what they do. The slaughter of the innocents is an outrage anywhere in the world. You think in terms of what's going on there, the pedophile rings and human trafficking, 27 million worldwide. It is an outrage. I am motivated by the love of God for people, but I am also motivated by the outrage of seeing what the other side does. And I know that things can be done. And I know the hand of God is involved in that. I know that God opens doors and breaks down doors at times. And God deals with things at times. You know, we get tired of dealing sometimes in the world of law enforcement because there's times we just want to do things. You'll have to pray for me. Because there are times when we have engaged the undergrounders that have done what they've done. There are times I want to clear a temple. There are times that I really want to clear a temple and do what needs to be done overall. This is all coming out of the content of new material, just simply to train thousands and thousands and thousands. That's one thing good about the internet issues, is that we can now train and send, put content out and just take the materials that we got and then just put it up there and then just give it away and let it go to 170 nations. Let it be downloaded by millions upon millions. So roll call tonight, if you know what it's all about. Law enforcement agents come in, roll call. They want to give all the officers going out of the streets, here's what's up, here's what's coming, what's going on in our city right now. They'll talk about the perps and everything else, and they'll give them all the warnings. This is intel analysis also.